Confident men never do this with women. Number 1, they do not beg. If they ask a girl out and it is not 100% yes, a hell yes, they're out. They're not going to waste their time chasing her, begging for her attention, because they have plenty of options. But nice guys and desperate guys will keep looking for signs. They will continue to text her even if she flakes. And they will continue to ask her out even if she says, "This week isn't good for me." They don't want to give up and just keep on begging. The reason you keep begging is because you don't think you're good enough, that you don't have high enough value to earn the respect of a girl of this nature. You need to change the way you see yourself and realize that you are a high-value man and you should never be begging a girl for her attention. So what do you do so you don't beg? If you ask a girl out and she doesn't say yes or, "Yeah, that sounds good," or anything but yes, you need to move on. If a girl says, "Hey, this week doesn't look good for me," and just ends it there, don't be like, "Okay, what about next week or the week after? I'm free Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday." You just look extremely desperate and simpy. Instead, she needs to make an effort. So, if you ask her, "Hey, does Wednesday or Thursday work to hang out?" and she's like, "Nothing works, sorry," or "That doesn't work for me," move on. But if she says, "No, Wednesday and Thursday don't work for me, but Friday does," would that work for you? That's her making an effort. Or if a girl flakes on a date and texts you right before the date and says, "Hey, sorry, something came up," instead of texting her back like, "Oh, no worries, it's fine. How about next week? Are you available then?" That's desperate. You're begging for her attention. Instead, you say, "Hey, no worries, let me know when you're free." The ball is in her court. If she wants to get back to you and make plans, great. If not, you will not beg. You're moving on. This shows that you're confident, you have self-respect, and it's probably going to make her more likely to come back because she's not used to guys doing this. I know it's really simple stuff, guys, but if you're not doing this, you're never going to have respect for yourself, and you're always going to look like a simp to a girl. And before we continue, I would really appreciate it if you support us by hitting the like button. Thank you very much. Now, let's continue. Number 2, allowing a girl to get away with a shit test. We all know what that is. It's when a girl tests us to see how we're going to respond. So, a simple shit test could be, "You know I'm not going to sleep with you tonight, right?" She's looking to see how you respond, and most non-confident guys would be like, "Oh no, I'm so sorry. I would never. I don't want you to get that impression. I'm not that type of guy." That doesn't look good. What you want to do is either dismiss it or make a joke out of it, because this shows that you're confident, that you're not going to put up with her bullshit. For example, if she says, "You know I'm not going to sleep with you tonight, right?" you can say something like, "No worries, I'm saving myself for marriage." That's an easy joke, and you can keep the conversation going. Or another example is if a girl shows up 15-20 minutes late to the date. Most guys would not want to say anything. They don't want to rock the boat because they're just getting to know her. But a confident guy would actually set a boundary here and say, "Hey, you're 15-20 minutes late to this date. It's fine, but moving forward, I'd appreciate it if you would show up on time so we're not wasting each other's time." And lastly, another example is if you're hanging out with a girl and she's talking about other guys she's seen. Instead of being like, "Oh, that's cool," or "Oh, I didn't know you were talking to other guys," or feeling really awkward. Instead, you want to completely dismiss it and change the subject. She's going to get the hint that you're not that type of guy who's going to allow her to have this type of behavior. Number 3, allowing any sort of disrespect. The problem is a lot of guys' mindset is they don't want to rock the boat. They don't want to say anything that could make the girl not like them, and then they're going to lose them, and then they're going to be alone. But if you're operating from this mindset, this weak simpy mindset, you're never going to have the proper frame for a girl to be fully attracted to you, to look at you as the leader, the dominant one, the one who's going to take care of her and make her feel safe, which ultimately is what a girl wants. You're operating from this scarcity mindset, and so you're walking on tiptoes, you're walking on thin ice, because you don't want to say anything that would make her upset. But instead, the mindset you need to have is, "She's lucky to be with a man like me. I'm confident in myself and I value myself and my respect. I know that I have options." You have to operate from this abundant mindset. And that way, if she is disrespectful, if she says something and you set that boundary and she crosses that boundary, you are out. I see a lot of guys that can set the boundary, but then when she crosses the boundary, they don't walk away. And that is almost even worse than not setting boundaries at all, because now she knows she can set boundaries, but they don't mean anything. And we all know when there are no consequences for actions, they just keep getting worse and worse, and the disrespect is going to be so bad. But there's nothing you can do. Your word does not matter because you don't stick to it. So, if a girl disrespects you, you need to set a boundary. Hey, I'm not okay with this. If it happens again, I'm out. Super strict, super blunt boundary, but she knows where you stand. But if you say, hey, I just don't really like this, it's a little, and you're not sure about yourself or you're not sure about this boundary you're setting, she's not going to be sure about it, and she's probably just going to be like, yeah, okay, I don't really believe what he's saying. I talk about this all the time, but a guy's superpower is being able to walk away. If a girl is being disrespectful, if you feel disrespected in the relationship, you need to set the boundaries. Or, if the boundaries are already set and she crosses those, you need to leave. Now, proper boundary setting is you don't want to be upset or angry, because that's also coming from a weak place. You want to be calm, cool, collected, and you want to speak with authority, but at the same time, you want to come off respectful. Hey, when you did this, I did not like it. It made me feel like this, and I would appreciate it if it doesn't happen again. Simple. You set clear expectations, and if this is a girl that you've been seeing a while, you can even go one step further and say, hey, this is a boundary for me. It's really important. If it's crossed, I just can't be with someone who disrespects my boundary, and I will leave. That is very clear. And again, I can see a lot of you guys being like, wow, I can't say that. I could lose her, and oh my God, but you're losing your self-respect. So, what's worse? If you really want to be this confident man, you have to follow these 3 things and put them into practice. Thanks for watching, guys. I will talk to you in the next video.